a great question. I'm just going to repeat the premise of it very quickly. When you continue to cut the ability of federal agencies and departments to function and do what they were intended to do, it's then very easy to turn around and say, see, government doesn't work. These guys aren't able to pick up the trash, the VA is unable to serve veterans, the education department's unable to do what it's supposed to do. So EPA is unable to ensure that you have clean drinking water in Cotulla, Texas, and LaSalle County, which is exactly what I heard when I was down there talking to the county judge. So how do we, either as Democrats or just as Texans and Americans, get out of this vicious cycle that ensures that government is not going to work, and then will be used as a platform to elect more people who will ensure that government can't work? And the greatest example of that to me, or perhaps the worst example of that to me, is the VA. And I was just in a VA hearing 2 weeks ago, and the chairman of the committee, who's a gentleman that I like a lot, Republican from Tennessee, Phil Rowe, as we were trying to find a pay for, a way to fund something that we were trying to do for veterans to ensure that they had better medical care going forward, he said, and this is true, he said, look, the VA budget has grown by leaps and bounds since 2001. It was at X, now it is at 3X. But let's also remember that since then we've invaded how many countries and sent how many hundreds of thousands of Americans and Texans to put their lives on the line all over the world, men and women who've come back with post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic amputations, injuries that would have killed them in previous eras of conflict, that thank God they are surviving, they're back, and they need our help, and we refuse to fund the VA. And guess who the boogeyman becomes? The VA. The VA is a problem. Let's destroy the VA. Let's just send, and this is a serious proposal from the other side. Let's send veterans out to care in the community. The bureaucracy doesn't work anymore. Let's just give them a VA card. Go see any doctor that you want to anywhere. Well, for reasons that are obvious to me, hopefully obvious to you, about the VA being the center of excellence for those conditions unique to combat and service, a VA doctor who knows what to ask and to look for when we're talking about a veteran who might be having suicidal ideation. You don't want the VA to go away. You want to strengthen the VA. You want to fund the VA. You do want to hold it accountable. You do want to make sure that there is oversight. But I think it's making government work the way it was supposed to work. And it's not just government with unlimited spending and without consequence. And without being responsive to the people that it is there to serve. It's government that needs oversight. It's government that needs someone who's going to be a champion of the taxpayer and the person who government is there to serve. And I think that we can do that. I think about the VA, where we've been able to literally turn it around in El Paso from the worst performer in the country to, in some months, exceeding the national standard for access to care. That's just one small example in one community in this country, but it's a path forward to show that government can work in those places that it should. So, thanks for asking the question. Yes, sir.